Welcome to my next lecture on database management systems, and in this lecture we will consider the properties for relational decomposition. We have already covered the normal forms, that is the second normal form, third normal form and the Boy Scout normal form, or also called the BCNF, and under these normal forms we saw that we can decompose the relations into a relation into two decompositions or relations to meet a specific normal form. Now, when we are decomposing the relations, it is important that whatever decomposition we do should be a correct decomposition, and for that it is important to study the properties for relational decomposition. Only decomposition is not sufficient for a good database design. There are some properties that must be satisfied for the decomposition to qualify it as a good design, and these properties, they are the attribute preservation property, the dependency preservation property and the lossless join or the non-additive join property. So, the attribute preservation property means that whenever there is a decomposition of a relation, then all the attributes of the original relation must be maintained or preserved in some decomposition or the other. The dependency preservation property means that whenever there is a decomposition, then all the functional dependencies or other dependencies that we will study further should be maintained in one of the decompositions, and a lossless join or non-additive join property means that whenever there is a decomposition, then performing a join of the decompositions, we should be able to get the original relation back. Also, here I have mentioned that the attribute preservation property is a mandatory property. The dependency preservation property is not a mandatory property, and again the lossless join property is a mandatory property. Why? Because when we talk of the attribute preservation property, then obviously we cannot afford to lose any of the attributes from the original relation. For example, I have a relation ABCD and the two decompositions that we get are AB and C, let us say. So, now in the decompositions we do not have the attribute D. So, this is not permissible, because whenever the decomposition is happening, we just cannot lose an attribute. So, here the attribute D is mandatory. Now, when we say that the dependency preservation property is not a mandatory property, why? Because when we are performing the decompositions, in that case some of the dependencies may be lost, but however, when we do the join of these decompositions, we will get those dependencies back, or we may be able to derive those dependencies from some other dependencies. For example, let us say in the existing relation we have A to B, C to D and A to D. So, in the decompositions we can clearly see that we have the functional dependency A to B here, C to D here, but the functional dependency A to D is lost in decomposition, which is acceptable. Again, a lossless join is a mandatory property, because lossless join means that there can be no loss of the data when the decomposition is being performed. When we say loss of data, generally loss of data means loss of information. So, it may not mean loss of any attributes or loss of any tuples. We may sometimes get additional, or what we call as the spurious attributes, which obviously also means that on performing the join we are not getting the original information that was there in the original relation. So, that is known as lossless join, and obviously when we perform a join of the decompositions, then we need to get the original data back. Let us do these 3 properties slightly more in detail. So, the attribute preservation property means that if we have the relation with the attributes a 1, a 2 and so on, and we say R 1, R 2, R 3 and up to R m are the decompositions of the relation R, then all these attributes, they must be present in one of the decompositions. That is to say that the union of all the R i's, that is R 1 to R m, should be equal to R. Second is the dependency preservation property. So, if we have the relation R and the decompositions are R 1, R 2 up to R n, then we say that R 1 union R 2 union R n should be equal to R. Now, let F 1, F 2, F m be the functional dependencies that are there in the original relation R. Let F dash be the functional dependencies of R 1, R 2, R n and so on, such that F dash is equal to F 1 union F 2 union F 1, meaning thereby that F 1 is the functional dependencies in R 1, F 2 is a set of functional dependencies in R 2 and so on. Then if F dash is equal to F 1 union F 2 and so on, then the dependency preservation property means that F dash should be equal to F. That is, all the dependencies, they need to be maintained. Now, it would be useful if each functional dependency specified in F appears either directly in one of the relation R I, that is directly in one of the decompositions, or it could be inferred from the dependencies that appear in some of the decomposition. Now, let us look at this. We are saying consider the relation schema R A B C with the following set of functional dependencies A to B and B to C. Check if the decomposition of R into R 1, that is B C, and R 2, that is A B, is a attribute preserving decomposition and dependency preserving decomposition. For attribute preserving, what do we need? That R should be equal to R 1 union R 2. So, R 1 is what? R 1 is B C, R 1 is B C union A B, which is equal to A B C. We are getting all the attributes of R. So, we can say that R 1 union R 2 is equal to R, hence it is a attribute preserving decomposition. Now, over here let us say F D in R 1 is B C, that is B C. In R 2 it is A B, right. So, what is F dash? Call this as F 1, call this as F 2. F dash is equal to F 1 union F 2, which is equal to B to C union A to B, which is equal to F, that is the functional dependencies which we have in the given relation. So, this is also a functional dependency or a dependency preserving decomposition. The third property I told you is the lossless join or the non-additive join property of the decomposition. What does this property means? That if R 1, R 2, R 3 and so on, they are the decompositions of the given relation R, then the natural join, this asterisk is for the natural join, then the natural join of all the decompositions, or let us say the natural join of the states of all the decompositions should be equal to the state of the original relation. If you remember, I had told you some time back that capital R stands for the schema and the small r stands for the state of the relation. So, a natural join of the states of all the decompositions R 1, R 2, R 3 should be equal to the state of the original relation, which is known as the lossless join property. Like I told you, lossless means loss of information and not loss of tuples, and when we do a natural join, then sometimes we may have the additional or the spurious tuples, which is known as a lossy join. Now, look at this, we have the relation book with the attributes ISBN, price and page count. Like I have shown two decompositions of the relation book, that is decomposition A having the attributes, one relation in decomposition is ISBN and price and the other is ISBN and page count. The other decomposition I have shown over here is the decomposition B, which consists of ISBN and price and page count and price. So, now what we will do is we will perform a natural join for both the decompositions in A and we will perform a natural join on both the relations in B, right. So, in A we will perform a natural join on ISBN, the common attribute. In B we will perform a natural join on price, the common attribute. Let us see what happens. Now, this is the decomposition I had shown you in the previous slide. When I perform a natural join, I get this relation. So, this is what? This is a natural join of these two relations. And what is this? Just have a look. This is again the original relation that we had. So, that means on performing a natural join on the two decompositions, what do we get? We have got the original relation back. So, that means this is a lossless join. No loss of information is there or no additional tuples are there. Now, let us look at the other decomposition we had, that is this. Now, when I perform a natural join on these two relations, this is the relation that I get, and these two rows which I have shown in red, these two rows, they are not there in the original relation. This was the original relation, this one, those two rows are not there in the original relation. So, what have we got on the performing the natural join? We have got these two extra tuples. So, this is what is known as that we did not get the original relation back, or we say that this is a lossy decomposition, and obviously, what is desirable is a lossless decomposition, right. Now, what we will do is that every time, look, here what we have is we have very small relations and we have very small decompositions. So, we have easily performed the natural join and we have shown whether it is a lossy decomposition or a lossless decomposition. But actually in the real life, the relations or the tables are going to be very large, that is the number of attributes, as well as the data will be thousands and thousands of rows. So, it may not be possible for us to perform the natural join easily. So, to check whether a particular decomposition is a lossy decomposition or a lossless decomposition, we have this algorithm which is known as the Abous algorithm, and I will explain this algorithm to you through an example. Here we are saying consider the schema A B C D with the functional dependencies A to B and C to D. Check if it is dependency preserving, check if it is lossless, and R1, R2, R3 over here are the 3 decompositions. So, for dependency preserving, what will we do? Let us say R1 may, what do we have? We do not have any of the functional dependency from the original relation. In R2, what do we have? Let us call this F2, C2, D. In R3, what do we have? A to B. So, both the functional dependencies that are there in the original relation, they are also there in the decomposition. So, we can say it is a dependency preserving decomposition. Also, if we call this as F, so F2 union F3 is what? C to D union A to B, which is the set of functional dependencies which is equal to F. So, we say that this is a dependency preserving decomposition. Now, what do we do for the lossless decomposition using the Abu's algorithm? All the attributes that are present in the given relation. What was the given relation? Let me quickly write it down for you. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E was my given relation. The decompositions were A, C, E, C, D and A, B. So, now what we do using this algorithms is that we create a matrix with the attributes of the original relation as the columns A, B, C, D, E and the decompositions as the rows. Next, what we do is we take up each of the decomposition, for example, R1, and whichever attributes are present in R1, we mark them as A values. So, what have I done here? A, that is the attribute A, gets a value. Next attribute in R1 is C, A value. Next is E, which is A value. In R2, we have C and D. So, C has a value and sorry, this should have been C and D, sorry, I am sorry, this is B, okay, and D has a value. R3 we have A as a value and B as a value. The rest of the values, they are the B values, right. So, now what we will do is that we will take up the functional dependencies one by one. What were the functional dependencies? A to B and C to D. So, we will take up these functional dependencies one by one. Let me take up A to B first. So, what I will do is that if the left hand side of the functional dependency matches the A value in any two rows, then I can also make it match on the A value for the right hand side. So, here R1 and R3 rows, they have a value for the left hand side of the functional dependency, which is A. Hence, we will also make B have the A value in rows R1 and R3, right. So, this is what we get. Next, what do we have? We have the functional dependency C to D. So, let us check R2 and R3 rows have the A value for the left hand side, which is C. So, what we will do is match the right hand side, which is D, on A value. So, this becomes A over here. Now, what we need to do is, now these were the only two functional dependencies we had, and we have made the changes in the matrix according to these two functional dependencies. So, now if any of the rows has all the A values, then we say that it is a lossless decomposition, and if no row has all the A values, we say it is a lossy decomposition. So, in this case we can see that none of the rows has all the A values, A, but this is B. Here we can see B, B. So, none of the rows has all the A values, and hence it is a lossy decomposition. Let us take up another example. Here we have this as the original relation, these are the decompositions, and these are the functional dependencies in the original relation. We need to check for a lossless or a lossy decomposition. So, let us quickly do it. I have SSN, ename, pnum, pname, ploc, Rs, plocation and Rs. The three decompositions that I have are R1, R2 and R3. So, we have the attributes from the original relation as the columns and the decompositions as the rows. Let us take up the decompositions one by one. R1 is SSN ename. So, for R1 we will give SSN and A value, ename as a value. For R2 we have PNO, pname and ploc. We have PNO, okay, that is pnum. Let us do it this way, or let us make this as pnum, that is okay, one is the same thing, right. Pnum, pname and ploc. So, we have pnum as the A value, A value, A value. For R3 we have SSN, pnum and Rs, A value, A value and A value. The rest of the values, they are going to be the B values. Next, what we have to do is take up the functional dependencies. The first functional dependency we have is SSN to ename to pnum. So, SSN A value in 1 and 3 rows. So, ename we can make this, we can make this as the A value, right. Then in SSN had in 1 and 3. So, we can make this as a value, right. Next functional dependency is pnum to pname ploc. Pnum A value, A value, A value. So, what we will do is pname we can have a value, plocation we can have a value. Next we have SSN pnum to Rs. SSN as well as pnum. So, row 1 and row 3, row 1 and row 3 they have the A value, Rs we can have the A value here. Now, if we look at our matrix, we will see that all the entries in the row R1 they are A values, and hence we say this is a lossless decomposition, right. Let us quickly take up one more example. We can take this one. This is the original relation, these are the decompositions and these are the functional dependencies. So, what do we have here? We have SNO, SName, SCity, status, pnum, pname, price and quantity. What do we have over here? Here we have CS, SUPP, part and SPX. Let us fill in our matrix quickly. Right. So, CS, SCT and status. So, SCT gets a value, status gets a value. Supplier S number gets a value, S name a value, SCT a value. Part PNO, sorry, PNO a value, S part PNO, P name a value and price a value. SPX, that is SNO, no, I have done something wrong. Part is, okay, this was supply, okay, part, sorry. Then SPX, we have SNO a value, P num as a value and quantity as a value, and the rest of the values we will have as B values. B. This is the matrix that we get. Let us take up the functional dependencies one by one, SNO, S name and S city, right. So, SNO, it has A values in second and fourth row. So, what will we do? S name in the second and the fourth. So, this can be a value, and S city, this will be a value, this will be a value. Second functional dependency is S city to status. All 4 rows have the a value. So, what we can do is that for these 2 rows we can make this as the a value, for these 2 rows we can make this as the a value, right. P num to P name and price, P num a values, P name, this becomes a value, this becomes a value. Now, at this point we see that our last row, it has all a values, and hence this is a lossless decomposition. Now, the decompositions we have done are those that were decomposing a relation into more than 2 decompositions, right. But if we have only 2 decompositions, then we can use these properties for binary decomposition directly. That is, any decomposition of R into 2 relations R 1 and R 2 will be a lossless decomposition if at least one of the following dependencies is there in each decomposition. That means, R 1 intersection R 2 determines R 1 minus R 2, or R 1 intersection R 2 determines R 2 minus R 1. Let us take up this question. We have the given relation as A B C, functional dependencies A to B and B to C, and the decompositions are R 1 A C and R 2 B C, right. So, we have to find, now this is a binary decomposition, we can either use the Abou's algorithm or we can directly apply these rules for binary decomposition. So, here we see by transitivity what do we have? We have A to B, B to C. So, by transitivity we have A to C. So, these are the 3 functional dependencies actually that are there in the given relation. Okay. Now, R 1 intersection R 2, what is it? R 1 intersection R 2, the common attribute is A. R 1 minus R 2, those attributes which are there in R 1, but not in R 2, which is C. R 2 minus R 1, the attributes which are there in R 2, but not in R 1, which is B. So, R 1 intersection R 2 determines Weber properties determines R 1 minus R 2. What do we get? R 1 minus R 2. R 1 intersection R 2 is A, R 1 minus R 2 is C, A to C. So, A to C is present in this decomposition, right. Then let us see R 1 intersection R 2 determines R 2 minus R 1 means this implies A determines R 2 minus is B, right, that is R 1 intersection R 2 that is A determine R that holds in R 2. So, that means the functional dependencies that are given over here, from those we derive that at least one of these two conditions is present in at least one of the decompositions, and hence this is a lossless decomposition. But please see this, that this is not a attribute preserving decomposition. Why? Sorry, this is not a functional dependency preserving decomposition, because the functional dependency B to C is lost in this decomposition. So, this is how we will take up the decomposition of the relations and check whether it is a dependency preserving decomposition, a lossless decomposition, or an attribute preserving decomposition, where attribute preserving decomposition and lossless decomposition are mandatory properties. Dependency preservation is not a mandatory property. Thank you.